Production. 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Cut. Production was a whirlwind.
Excuse me.
All right. Roll sounds. Meeting. Call it. Check your radios, everyone. Window doesn't roll.
They said that rain is a great thing anytime it rains for production.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Kyle, let's go back to 1. Action. But it was good. I loved it. I loved every moment of it. I loved all the long days. Felt like a camp experience. Felt like I was shooting something with my family.
A number of us on the project, not most of us, were mixed. I guess I related in terms of how does one self-identify when other people have expectations of you based on visually how you look. I think that made it more challenging for one of the characters in the movie because she looked different than her family.
The cast are amazing. Like, we started the casting process really early on this because everyone that we spoke to, they all said the same thing. Like, you can't make this film without a great cast. And having 2 sisters that were younger and matching them with 2 sisters that were older that could still kind of show the range of the life history that our characters had, it was huge.
I think my parents found it. And I think they thought it was like one of the perfect projects for me because like I look white and my dad's black and my mom's white. I'm this girl that's trying to pass as a white girl and she's just trying to fit in.
This is my first film project in any capacity. I have this conversation with my friends all the time. There's always this struggle of if you're lighter, you're better. And that still resonates now.
I grew up with a Puerto Rican mother and an African-American father, and growing up in a predominantly white community, trying to figure out who I was. And so I had, of course, a lot of empathy for understanding the challenges that these 2 women had.
When they began to do this for Seed and Spark, I said, I'd like to lend support in whatever way I can. And she said, well, we got character too, and we know you act. Would you be interested? And I said, yeah. They said, will you read for us? And so I read something for them, and they said, you know what, we think that's Walter Lee's. Well, it's about choices. You know, the 2 girls have a choice, and those choices always have consequences.
Hats off to the cast and director, to Mike, to Kim, for putting together such an amazing cast. From the transition from kids to adulthood, it's very believable.
I love them. Brynn, I shamefully thought she was a child and almost asked where her parents were when I first met her, and then come to find out she's 21. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Berkeley, I mean, that girl she's on top of it. I mean, they give her a direction and she just does it.
I have not worked with child actors who were as good as Brynn and Berkeley. And Berkeley, the emotion of it to handle that at 10 years old is insane.
My mom had an aunt and she was born in 1895. Once she became of age, she decided to go off and pass as white. There have been generations that have suppressed who they are because of this.
When I read the script, it was touching because it's still problems that, even though it seems very extreme in the film, like these are still problems that people are experiencing on a day-to-day basis.
This kind of story and the message that it can convey isn't really in a history book.
I have to say, as a white woman in the South in 2014, it is difficult. But because it's difficult, I think it's important.
This is a story that a lot of Americans can relate to. I think this is, a great learning tool and will go far.
I think it's pretty important to talk about right now, especially after Ferguson and all of the other incidents that have been going on, especially in a creative way.
I'm from the indie world. Like, I got my start coming out of college right as the 5D Mark II hit, right as all the new age accessible cameras hit. So, and being from Atlanta, it was definitely like a more hustle and flow type mindset. Like, you're good at your job, pick up a camera and do it. So bringing a lot of that element to this production, it helped speed things along, because we don't have a perfect schedule. We had 6 days to shoot this, and it was a mixture of being able to say, we know we need to shoot, we know how we need to shoot it, and so we got to just break it down, get the necessities, get the meat and potatoes.
Mike and I, we've been in this from the beginning. Like, honestly, I would have never thought to do this because we didn't have enough money to do something like this. I think if he didn't have all the skills that he had, and like our skills combined, we joked at the beginning that even if no one else signed on, we'd still make the film. We'd still find a way to make the film, just because we could take it through to the beginning, from beginning to end. The challenge as a producer is to get really talented people who are worth a lot more to come and live with you in a very small town where they can't go home at night, and to pay them almost nothing for it.
It's a lot of work, and then creepily looking at people all day on set to make sure that they're not shiny, and fanning them with fans so their gnats aren't in their face.
Making sure hair's not out of place, making sure everything flows as far as wardrobe, makeup, hair, just ties it all together.
Logistics, making sure that everything is where it needs to be when it needs to be there.
Helping whoever I can, running errands, calling extras, contacting cast.
That everybody has stuff that they might need throughout the day. I get to be in charge of the walkie-talkies.
It varies. One moment I might be assisting the director, the next I might be helping with some of the production needs. Wide variety of tasks that I've taken on.
My day-to-day workflow was to back up our producer Kimberly James. Sometimes her workload would overload and she would have me there to pass stuff on, but predominantly I took care of the contracts and putting out fires.
For me, I'm in a collaborative role with Mike, the director, who's acting kind of director DP. Essentially, we're just approaching kind of shot by shot. I get to see what Mike blocks out for directing, and we quickly kind of break down what he has already thought about, and then what we can actually do on the day.
I was very fortunate to get my Avengers, my A-team on this. I got everyone who I'd worked with on this film who've been like really good friends to me, family in a sense to me, like for the past 3 or 4 years, like in production. So I pulled a lot of people from Atlanta, pulled a lot of people from New York. We had crew coming from as far as LA and Chicago. I mean, this is the type of story reels if I can have my special folks, if I can have the people I want on this, why wouldn't I try and go out and get them? Why wouldn't I try to get the people on this who are going to be as passionate about the story and the project as I am?
At the beginning, a lot of the crew were willing to drive down 16 hours each way just to be a part of this, and like that is very humbling.
It's been a production, things happen, and but we got through it, and I think that we got some amazing looking and, more importantly, amazing sounding stuff. Everyone at home, remember that. Sounds great.
I think it's been awesome to work on a film about race problems, and looking at our cast, it's just a complete array of different cultures, and I think that that's so amazing that all of these people are working together and believe in the same thing.
And making magic.
I think it's important for people from different backgrounds to come together and work towards something in unison. I think that's been the biggest reward so far.
I can't recall a production that I've been on that's been so diverse.
I don't know, the whole thing's been pretty good.
Everything is fascinating me. I have nothing but wonderful memories to take back to New York.
Monica, Kim, everybody's, are you thirsty? Are you thirsty? Everybody, Tally, like always checking up on us, making sure we're okay, don't want anybody passing out.
I actually congratulated a bunch of the crew afterward, for doing such a fantastic job.
It's been interesting at times, but in the overall scheme of things, we're all trying to accomplish the same goal and trying to bring something to light that is a great issue and a great topic.
I think everybody's working hard. I think everybody's really giving it their all to make this just the best film they could possibly give.
I honestly believe that this film will do untold things in ways that I can't comprehend and Kim can't comprehend.
My hopes for the film, for films like this to just kind of set a tone for acceptance.
When everything is crazy and all of the crew members are really focused on their tasks and running around because we were short-handed, every now and then you stop and you get behind the monitor and you look and watch what the cast is doing. And that's why we're here.
There's an official rap on Across the Tracks.